Once you've been to really dark places, you will never, ever allow yourself to go back. I'm gonna be just blocking and Kung Fu Keri. My life was radio silent for years. I mean that, like radio silent. Didn't even hum or sing in the shower. That brings me to tears. That does, that did it.
Hey guys, it's Loren Lorosa. We are here. This is BET Talks. Now joining me today, a very, very, very special guest. She is a singer, but not just a singer. I mean a Grammy-nominated singer, a BET Award-winning singer, a platinum-selling singer, an NAACP Image Award-winning singer. And she has a pen too. It ranges from everybody to Mary J. Blige, Omarion, Sierra, Britney Spears, just to name a few. And if I keep going, we might not have time for the interview because the accolades are accolading. Joining me today, I have Miss Keri Hilson here in the building. Welcome, 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 welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We are so happy to have you. We were just in here, you know, kind of vibing out to the single bay. To start, I want to play a game.
Okay.
You know, like an icebreaker game. It's fun.
Okay, let's kick it off with a game then.
Okay, this game is called This or That. This is a classic. 106 in Park or Rap City?
Oh, 106 in Park. I think for a while there I had a record. Knock You Down had a record there. So I was shown love by 106 in Park. I did grow up watching Rap City and I liked it. I appreciated it. I love the freestyle in the booth, on the mic thing. I just have so many more like personal 106 in Park memories.
You said, I think I had a song there, Knock You Down. Like, girl, that was everybody's ringtone, everybody's mama ringtone.
I know that it did well, but I'm not like the chart watcher.
Okay.
I've never known like my stats or like my sales even, or chart status. It's never been the reason I do it.
What was like one of your favorite moments 106-wise? Like you said, you received a lot of love there.
I think it would probably be when Terrence J wanted me to reenact my role in Usher's Love in This Club video.
I like this. I like where this is going.
We're gonna reenact that whole moment. Do you remember, is this your favorite part of the video?
This is definitely my favorite part of my life.
This was his favorite part of the video.
To this day, people are like, you and Terrence on the couch. I'm like, how do you guys remember that? That I think would be one of my favorite memories for sure.
What about acting versus singing? You dibble and dabble, not dibble and dabble, you do both.
Singing allowed me to do acting, so I guess I would say singing. And it was there before theater was for me. So singing, if I had to choose.
You got your first deal, you were a part of a group at 14 years old?
Yes.
That is very young.
By the time we signed when I was 17, I just graduated high school. I had to leave my senior trip in Cancun, Mexico, that I had also arranged as one of the senior
Oh, you were like on the
class.
like SGA, like student government or
Yes,
something? Or?
I left like day 2 or 3, and I was so sad. I came home, took my braids out, you know, vacation braids. We had to fly here to New York. That was when I got my record deal. That's what came of it, and no complaints.
Now what about Star Search versus Showtime at the Apollo?
Star Search, I wanted to be on more. Apollo, I enjoyed watching more. That's tough. I can't go against the culture. I'm gonna go with Apollo.
Okay, Showtime at the
my
Apollo.
whole family used to sit and pop popcorn and watch Apollo.
What age was that when you were watching Star Search and you're like, I'm gonna get on that show, we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna be famous, I'm gonna be a singer?
Probably 7. These were the defining shows that I would watch that made me understand this is what I want to actually do. I believed really young, like I really want to be on stages and competitions, and so I joined a bunch of like talent shows and things like that. And to me, that was like, all right, well, this will be my Star Search.
And what was family dynamic like? Like mom, dad, and they're supporting your career? Because that was very young, and I'm sure they nurtured it because a few years later, you're, you know, record deal.
I can't say that they were like hands-on about nurturing it, but they allowed us to explore like all of our talents and passions. And so that really allowed me to understand I really do enjoy performing, and they're like, you can do what you want to do, especially when you're starting to drive. And at 14, I wasn't supposed to, but I was driving.
I was driving at 13.
Were you?
I wasn't supposed to either. My grandmother taught me in case of emergency, but I was driving to the parties. We were at the mall.
Okay, that was me too.
Oh God. Ooh.
So yeah.
Look at us bonding over illegal
Look
activities.
at us.
I love
over
that.
illegal,
Girl,
we some thugs.
Period.
My parents were the kind of parents that were like, you can do whatever you want to do, as long as you keep your grades up, and as long as you're planning to go to college, which I did, but I didn't finish because my dreams took off before I could finish. But they just really allowed us to explore our passions. So I'm grateful for the kind of exposure and that kind of support, because it was like, yeah, you can have whatever you want.
Just keep it up over here.
Yeah.
What was your music taste exposure like in your household?
Ooh, household, I'll have to go with like what mom and dad, they had a record player from college. I think it was from my dad's college career, and it still still worked. And Dad would play it up until his dying day a few years ago, but Sade, Confunction, and Kenny G was another of Dad's favorites. Dad was more the music person. I think my musical inclinations come from his side of the family. My grandma sang in the choir, so did my aunt. My dad sang in a quartet, pressed a record in college. My mother's side, my grandmother, my mother's mother, was an Eastern Star, and she was a baton twirler, or majorettes, excuse me. That wasn't proper. Let me say it properly. But yeah, she performed and people would come to see her, and I guess I kind of got it honest on both sides, like, you know.
Got you. So what about fear versus caution?
Caution. I think caution, you're considering all angles, you're looking at other people's experiences, you're learning from your own experiences. Caution is healthy. Fear is just really, I don't find it that healthy. I find it debilitating. I find it to be the thing that allows people to get stuck or derailed from their dreams or their destiny.
Speaking of fear versus caution, the new album.
Yes.
You are back.
Yes.
It's been since 2011. That's the last time you dropped the project. That's a long time. How's your caution?
My caution is fully engaged. Not fully, but it's there when it needs to be. You know what I mean? I feel great. I feel like I've lived a few different lives in the time that I've been away, and they've all brought me to, yes, a very whole, very healed perspective on life and self, a high self-awareness. So many good qualities are now even more intact than ever before. So I'm grateful. It's not an easy industry, and it's actually in some ways worse than when I was in it prior. You know what I mean? Like, it's very salacious now. The headlines, the think pieces. I did the series Me versus Me, where Keri Lynn and Keri Hilson are talking to each other. A lot of what we have to say is relevant. So what am I saying exactly? Love, betrayal. These are universal themes. You're not the only one who's been through tough love lessons. Come on. That was born of real conversations that I have, like on my daily walks or working out or in the shower and just before I go to bed, like, do I really want to do, you know? And this is over years, you know what I mean? This is over the course of the years. These are illustrating my real conversations that I really had to have. And of course, we know which side won. I'm very much at peace, and I'm very much willing to be boundaried and fight for that peace to remain engaged. Because that was a part of why I stepped away, was not feeling well mentally. Once you've been to really dark places, you will never, ever allow yourself to go back. So I've learned so many tools that help me never go back to that dark place, but also being vocal about what it is that I need when I need it or before I need it. Like, I know myself at this point. Your spirit will tell you, you know, you'll get those nudges like, I probably should take a mental load break.
In the series, for you guys who are here watching this, please go and watch it. It's Keri Hilson talking to Keri Lynn, so she's talking to herself. But in each small episode, you're having very real conversations about different things. One of the first things that grabbed me, you're asking yourself, are you ready to get back out there?
Why would I want to go back?
You just want to make sure that you're safe, because you know you're safe in your own hands or your own arms, but once you get out there and there's media and there's noise, you don't know if you're safe. Is it possible to even be fully safe when everything's overexposed?
Overexposure is also a decision, and one that I'm not really willing to make fully. Am I willing to be vulnerable? Yes. Am I willing to be more open and talk about certain things? Sure, but there are some areas where I'm like, no, I'm gonna be guarded. I don't see the point in that. You know, it's different out there now. Yeah, I know. Talent ain't enough anymore. Tell me about it. You got your TikTok dance ready? Nah. You learn how to make a reel yet? I don't want to be a content creator. I didn't grow up to be a social media personality. I grew up to be a songwriter and a singer. And this is where I channel my energy and my emotions. That's where I leave it. I put enough in my music. I'm actually not even good at this stuff, really. I don't find myself great at it being interviewed, and I write so much better than I speak. It's up to me to fight for the things that I believe in. I still believe in mystery.
I recently just had my first, like, I'm not the journalist reaching out for the story, I am the story moment. And I was like, oh, it's crazy, it's a little crazy over here.
Yeah.
Like, people calling you.
On that side.
The headlines is a little different, like, it gets a little intense.
It gets very character assassination. It gets very attacking.
And you'll be like,
me.
y'all don't
You're
even
like,
know me. Like, and then
Yeah.
you got your cousins calling you because they're ready to fight. It's just like a whole thing.
Yeah.
When you said that, I'm like, wow, like sometimes I do wish that there was still that like regard for celebrities who live in that era of mystery. I think that those celebrities are like regal, and we look at them like, you know, like the Felicia Shaws, and it's different.
Yes. It's gonna be interesting for me too. Because I don't have it all, like I can't control what gets exposed or what headlines get written or what questions get asked. There's so many things outside of my control. So yeah, I'm gonna be just blocking and Kung Fu Keri.
You know what? I know that's right. Put that in your bio so they leave you alone, girl.
Cool.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna be fighting that as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
I just don't have the desire to be in mess. I don't have the desire to constantly need to defend myself or defend my character or my level of integrity or things that I've said or done 15, 20 years ago. I don't have that need.
Right.
You don't have to like me. You know what I mean? I would love for you to like my art.
Right.
Sure, we all want to be likable. If fighting for myself means that I'm not liked, if fighting for my privacy and maintaining a certain level of guardedness for my own mental health means I'm not liked, I'm totally fine with that.
You had an episode in the series. Y'all have to go watch the series.
Please
and I'm
do.
excited that you did it kind of as a marketing tool almost for the new project because first of all, it was just a different piece of content. Like it's not just something thrown on TikTok or whatever the case may be.
Thank you.
There's depth to it. It looks good. Did you write it?
Yes.
I figured you did. In one of those episodes, you're having a conversation about dating and love and vulnerability, and you're asking yourself about just being seen with someone. You're like, no, I already did that, not trying to do that again.
Yeah.
At this point in your career right now, is that even something that you're thinking about?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm really not. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not doing anything about it. I'm not on dating apps or seeking it out or asking friends to set me up.
They would think it was fake.
Maybe.
They would be like, it's no way this is Keri Hilson.
But a lot of people give me that advice. I'm like, for what? I'm not like I'm fine. People just cannot believe you can be okay alone. Like my life is so peaceful and quiet when I need it to be quiet.
Yeah.
I think when the time comes, it's great, but like there's no need for me to force dating.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right now my energy is in my music and my gifts and my purpose, my destiny. Like that's where my energy is being focused. And if someone comes along during this process, fine, great.
I'm new and figuring all of that out and publicly like, you know, I'm single, I'm dating, all of that, but you can't even just casually be friends with a person if you're a woman that people know or are getting to know because they instantly link you with them forever. And that to me is it's like trapping sometimes.
So I think there's a balance between you gotta live life because that kind of goes back to being kind of crippled by fear.
Yeah.
You just have to really have that thick skin, but also live the balanced life of like, I'm gonna do what I wanna do and just suffer the repercussions or whatever they may be. Maybe it's not suffering, but accepting the results of my actions or my perceived actions because I know the truth and who cares?
I saw in one of the visuals, you're like, which paintbrush is it today? So painting was something that you really dived into when you were away from music as well?
Dove back into, yes.
Dove back into, I'm sorry.
It's something I grew up loving to do.
And were you to the point where you're like commissioning pieces or was it just for fun?
I would say I commission them, but I don't charge for them. Like I'll give them to a friend of mine asked me for a piece for her office. She wanted a really large piece to frame. I made that for her in the color scheme that she wanted, and painting is just another form of art. When I was an early songwriter, I would paint while I wrote music.
How? You got two hands, so.
Well, I write up here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, how, girl? Like, how is that happening?
I would stop though. If I needed to write anything down, I would stop. Yeah.
All right, I'm like, okay, I got some superpowers. Let me know. Let's talk about the single that's out right now off of the project We Need to Talk. It's called Bae.
It's actually being released in 3 segments. I was gone so long, I was like, let me give them more than just like an EP amount of music or an album amount of music. And when you listen to the project, you'll understand why Bae is there.
Okay.
But it's springtime right now, it's new love, and maybe it's manifesting. I don't know, we'll see.
And you sampled Hey Baby, the Hurricane Chris?
Yeah, we interpolated him.
Interpolated,
we didn't sample him, yeah.
She like, listen.
It's similar.
Waited the legal and all that setup, let's get that right.
Yeah. Shout out to you, by the way, and thank you for the clearance.
Was this presented to you just by producers or like you?
No, that was me.
Oh, okay.
That was actually me.
Walk me through that.
The song was done, and it was just something I kept saying in my head, but I never said out loud. So one day when we were listening back, I was just like, I just happened to say like, I just feel like it's missing something in the hook. He was like, well, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know, like, hey, baby. Hey, baby. What would happen if we put that there? He's like, let's try it. It just, to me, made the record more exciting.
Yeah.
It made it more street, a little more fun, more club. It reminds you of things. So it's reminiscent for fans. I like it a lot. I like the simplicity of it, the openness. I like that you're hearing me without a lot of arrangements, without a lot of stuff.
How did you know that this was the song out the gate?
Because of that, because of the simplicity and the fact that you are hearing Keri for the first time in 14 years.
Yeah.
So I just felt like it was straightforward. It wasn't heavily arranged. It was just in your face. But it was first out the gate, and I'm fine with that because I feel like we're doing this with the trajectory of the single choices.
Where do you think R&B is today, and how has that, I don't know, maybe freed you up in how you create today versus back then?
I don't look outside of myself much when it comes to creating. I just know what I hear. I just know when I'm being a vessel for the things that I need to express. So I'm really kind of lame when it comes to knowing cool things that are going on in the industry. Because my life was radio silent for years while I was gone. There were years where, I mean that, like radio silent. Didn't even hum or sing in the shower, completely put it all down. And I would hear things like, say, in a restaurant or elevator, or if I were shopping or something like that. But other than that, I would have no awareness, and I'm still kind of like that. It's kind of always been me, to be honest. I've never really been, I've been inspired, but never influenced.
Yeah. What was it like putting your gift down? I can't imagine not waking up every day and just doing this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I fought so hard to do it. What was it like just going radio silent for that time?
It was necessary, but it was depressing at the same time. Yeah, it was dark. It was dark and quiet. And I honestly hated it. Wasn't something I ever envisioned or hoped or wanted, really, but it needed to happen to kind of clear my path. There was a lot of reconciling I had to do with myself, with fans, with business, with, you know, my label. There was so much reconciliation, but a lot of it was within. It was just a really tough time. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. But making music again, picking it back up, was a very fun process. There were times, even though I say radio silence, I would try to record, would try to write. It's really difficult, but I pushed through, and I have fruits of that. There are records that I have in my repertoire that have come of that place, and I'm like, oh, that's jamming. I like that, you know, and I needed to do that along the way to remind myself who I am and what I'm here to do, and that I'm effing good at it, you know what I mean? And needing that boost, I don't say that from an ego place, but just from such a low place that I needed to do things to support some level of confidence.
Yep. It almost feels like the wind is knocked out of you. Like you're trying, but like you can't. I've been there before. Like you can't get over it. And I was there for some time. My mom was dealing with cancer, and I had to step away from everything to help her. And I felt she's okay. So everything is good. But I remember feeling like, oh my God, like, I don't know, like, do I post on social? When I go back to work, am I still, like, I just couldn't get over it. But then I remember that the first day where I was like, okay, I'm back to it. I'm not the same person I was before the dark period happened.
Never are, yeah.
But I'm back to it. Do you remember that first day where you were like, oh, I do this? Like, this is, you know what I mean? It's back, it's here.
It was in increments. Because I was just that low. Like, it was in increments. It'd be like, okay, you know, there were so many moments, but I think they all probably occurred in the studio. Driving home, listening to what I had just done. Probably occurred the next day, forgetting what I had just done, listening to it fresh with fresh ears. Or even the next week or 2 weeks later, I'm like,
this is good, girl.
Yeah,
what you doing?
Like, this is the self-talk. Okay. Me versus me.
Yes, so that's where that came
literally,
from.
yes, the polarity of who you are and your child self, your beliefs that you had, and then there's so many struggles that I couldn't illustrate them all.
Right.
In 6 episodes, I felt was enough, but there's so much more that I could have said. There's so much more I would say, because that internal struggle is so real. It's so real and so faceted. I really hate reflecting, because I get emotional.
I was going to ask you, I mean, I felt it, and it's cool. This is a safe space. I hope you feel that way. Was it hard for you to sit down and write those me-to-me conversations? Like, how triggering was that for you?
Very. I tapped a Black female director named Tamara Bass, who's incredible.
Yes.
So I have done 2 films with her, and I felt safe, and that was important. And she has these voice notes of when I was discussing the concepts, and so we did it in like a Q&A format, and it was really tearful. Like, it never gets easier. You know, you're kind of forced in environments to discuss really difficult things that you fought your way out of, and in some ways are still processing. But in other ways, you're healed and you're joyous and you can smile talking about, you know what I mean? What we do, we're born to express. In different ways, albeit, but we're born to express. That is part of our gift and our purpose and our destiny. And so there's a responsibility there to have a level of vulnerability in your art. And no one said it was supposed to be easy. But it is meant to be colorful. And if you're feeling blue and gray, paint your blue and gray. If you're feeling yellow and orange and hot pink, paint your yellow, orange, and freaking hot pink. We're born to do this, and we have to fight those urges to kind of close up and clam up. And that again, is just, it's part of the fear.
And I'm assuming we're going to get that in some of the music too, because the album title, We Need to Talk.
Oh yeah. I don't want to say too much, but yes, there's a story there too, but that's a double entendre. So when you listen to the album, you're going to hear who I need to talk to. The other side of the entendre is to my fans, is me kind of explaining things that I feel they deserve to know. It's just all around, we need to talk. I'm ready to talk. I feel good, I feel whole, I feel ready, I feel armored. I also have created safety and will continue to create safety for myself. Yeah, Kung Fu Keri, Killer Keri, whatever I gotta be in the moment. Okay.
We see you. When I hear you talk about social media, content creation, I think about how much I get on TikTok. I see like, you know, sorority strolling to your music and there's like different TikToks happening. You have nothing to do with it. It's just going literally in circles at 360 around you. Does that make you feel good?
It does. That brings me to tears. That does. That did it. Because you don't ask for it. You just kind of, I needed that at times. Yeah. Those were indicators for me when I really needed them. And I just really appreciated that. I know, try to keep me pretty. Thank you. Thank you, Loren.
Well, I'm glad that you saw it, because I
got the tissue.
Yeah, somebody go grab the tissue. To be able to take a step back, find your peace, be in that silence and that solitude that you needed, but the world is still moving with music like
and
that.
To look outside the window and see that, and just peek out like, from the darkness. Yeah. To peek out and be like, it's really, really, really touching, because these are the moments, these are the reasons that we do this. Like, I love, like, when people walk up to me in the airport or, I don't know, Chipotle or something, and they're just telling me what something means to them or what something helped them do or overcome, or it affected their life in some positive way. And even if it's just as small as a caption on a TikTok or a reel or something, I just get to see that and just see the affect of the art and of my efforts or offerings, and that just never gets old. It just never gets old. I think I even prefer it, I can't say that, but I like it just as much as I like seeing people react in a concert. Being able to touch people at meet and greet and for them to tell me personal stories and they're crying. And that's what brought me to tears, is because those were moments that I think about too, is like, man, seeing the affect and hearing it and looking at it in your face, and someone telling you what you have meant to them while you are doubting yourself, or while you have lost your way, or while you have stepped away from the thing that they love so much. It's a painful yet joyous kind of dichotomy that, but we need that. So yeah, we need that.
How much are you talking to yourself on We Need to Talk? Because when I think about Pretty Girl Rock, all eyes on me. Like, now that I'm older, it's like I'm hearing and I'm like, oh, this is low key like daily manifestation. You talking to yourself like, girl, chin up, crown up. Like, you know what I mean? We got some things to do. Do we get another one of those on We Need to Talk? Is that happening?
I think it's there. It's not quite as intentional as Pretty Girl Rock, but there are absolutely moments that you, as a woman especially, can feel lifted and understood and seen, and can use as an affirmation. There's one in particular that I think will do that, but it was all written from inside out and not from outside in. And that's the difference between this point in my career and back then, is that it literally is all just, you know, and not necessarily what would be a hit. What should I say that makes this a #1? The intention is quite different than before.
Your first set of like, oh, okay, I did this, I wrote this, and it becomes like a massive hit. What was that feeling like for you just as a writer? Because it seems like you're super intentional about your words and your art.
Yeah, that's why I hate doing interviews, because I'm so intentional with my words that I just have always known since I was very young that I write better than I speak. I don't speak very clearly or succinctly, and I want to, I intend to. When I'm writing for someone else, it's not always my emotion or my feeling. It's not my story. A lot of times I get to sit and we get to discuss their story, and that I have to write from their point of view, which is a beautiful thing about life. Is like everything's relatable when it's real. There are some artists in my catalog that I am forever kind of just really grateful to have there. Like, never expected. Like, wow, man, that really happened, and wow. Look at that growth.
That really happened.
Yeah, that really happened. You know. Yeah, but like, not even. Thank you, but not even as a flex. Just like when you operate in your gift, you get surprised like that. You get these serendipities. You get these confirmations. If you stay humble, you'll constantly be surprised and shocked and gracious and full of gratitude, which is the place that I dwell in.
I would love to know every day what words, since you are very intentional with your words, what words is Keri Lynn saying to herself every single day at this point, getting back out there?
Good question. Just focus on the truth. Let God do the rest. Courage is another mantra right now. I have to be courageous because the fear can creep in. Thick skin is another. There's a lot. I think remaining courageous, remaining truthful and authentic, just in all moments. Like, I'm in my airport clothes, and this is how I truly came to New York City. And I know that you guys prepared a beautiful outfit for me, but I was like, I would be more comfortable in my own clothing. I'm here like this because truth was more important to me today. So
I love that. And you're going to take that with you because you're going to get back on the road. We're going to see some tours popping up soon, hopefully.
yeah, I hope so. I feel like I gotta do that.
Let them know how it's all going to drop.
First installment, which is the love. It's love, drama, redemption, in that order. And it tells a story. You can begin the love story, which is why Bay is the first single. And on your DSPs, you can see the entire listing of the first segment of my album.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Loren.
I hope that this was like the hug that like I want you to have after learning so much.
Surprisingly, yes, surprisingly.
The conversation I just had with you, I'm like, man, I don't think I've ever even heard her talk in this light, and it made me understand you a lot more.
Thank you.
And
Tears and all.
Tears and all, airport clothes, airport fly and all.
And all.
Thank you so much for joining us, Miss Keri Hilson.
Thank you for having me.